Hey yo, this is Koi. Today I have the Fat Frequency X Effect Audio Quantum. This is a planar driver IEM that costs $770 and is a collaboration between Fat Frequency and Effect Audio. This is what the box looks like, and as you can see, it is really small. You get a metal plug case, the cable, a set of TRI Clarion tips, your NOAA modules, cleaning brush, and the IEM itself. The metal plug case is not really pocketable, but feels very premium. The inside has felt lining and you don't have to worry about anything crushing your IEMs in this metal case. The Quantum has this unique design that looks really weird to me with the Super Stage module. It's like a big bulge out of your IEM and it looks ridiculous when wearing it. With the other modules, it looks a lot better and the metal design has grown on me a little. The fit and comfort on the Quantum didn't really work for me. At first, I thought it fit pretty well despite the weird shape, and the backside fits really well. But after about an hour, this bottom part started pushing against the bottom of my ears. And after that, it just became extremely uncomfortable for me to wear. So if you have small ears, be aware. As this is a collab with Effect Audio, they have included the Effect Audio Aries 2 in 2-pin recessed and 4.4mm termination. I like that they have included the 4.4mm termination, as this is one of the most power hungry IEM I have tried. This is also my first experience with an Effect Audio cable, and it looks great, featuring a fancy Y split and connectors. However, the cable itself is a bit thick. It feels a bit stiff and tends to be memory prone. Before we get into the sound, the Quantum has 3 different modules that you can switch out to change the sound on it. There is the Super Stage module, which, as the name states, makes the Quantum sound really wide, and is also my favorite module out of the 3. The Power module, the black one, has a bit less forward vocal and less soundstage compared to the Super Stage module. The Control module, the blue one, is similar to the Power module with slightly less bass. The Quantum, I would say, is one of the best tuned planar IEMs I have tried, and with the Super Stage module, adds an extra wow factor to it. Starting with the bass, the Quantum has a fair amount of bass with good texture and sub-bass rumble. The mid-bass is on the neutral side and doesn't bleed into the mids. The bass has more of an emphasis on the sub-bass, like many of Fatfreq's IEMs. I think the bass should be just about right for most people, and you can switch to the Control module if you want slightly less bass. Unfortunately, it is still planar bass, and to me, it doesn't really reach the level of a good implemented dynamic driver bass. The mids on the Quantum are good for both male and female vocals. This early rise in the upper mids makes vocal feel forward and centered while remaining fairly natural. I usually find an early rise in the upper mids like this to be fairly good for male vocals, and this is true for the Quantum. Female vocals, on the other hand, are also forward and sound very airy. Unfortunately, with how the upper mid is presented with this early rise and how it slowly taper off, I'm not really getting the harmonics of female vocals for them to sound really good. So I wouldn't say female vocals are exceptional, it's just good. The treble on the Quantum, I would say, is just the right amount for most people and has lots of air. It is extremely smooth and very extended, but because of the amount of air that it has, it can sound a bit grainy to me sometimes. At first, I couldn't understand why it sounded grainy to me, but after playing around with some EQ, I lowered the air by a couple dB and the treble sounded perfectly fine. So do be aware, if you're sensitive to the air region, the treble might sound a bit grainy like I described. Other than that, the Treble is one of the best out of any planar IEMs I have tried. Getting to the technicalities and gaming on the Quantum is the most resolving planar driver I have tried. Maybe it has something to do with it being power hungry, but it has really good clarity and feels very resolving. Also, they weren't lying when they call it the Super Stage module. The soundstage is extremely wide. It is as wide, if not wider, than the Awful Cantor, which is one of the widest sounding IEM that I have. For gaming, it is no surprise that the Quantum performs extremely well. It does an excellent job of separating all the sound cues in Apex Legends and has really good imaging, letting me know where the enemies are coming from. Therefore, the Quantum gets 3 controllers for my gaming recommendation. For comparisons, let's first look at my favorite planar IEM, the RT T10 Pro. To me, the bass on the T10 Pro is better than the Quantum, and the Quantum has a bit more forward mid-range and has better treble than the T10 Pro. Next is the newish planar, the Kiwi Ears Aether. The bass on the Aether is just okay, and the treble doesn't sound quite right to me. It does have a pretty decent soundstage if that is something that you're looking for. The Aether does it for much cheaper than the Quantum. Lastly, let's talk about the Cantor, as both of these are around $700 to $800. The Cantor to me has better bass quality. Female vocals are also a lot better on the Cantor, but male vocals are better on the Quantum. The treble on the Cantor, despite being a bit brighter, I find it to be better than the Quantum and doesn't sound grainy due to the air. Both of these have excellent technicalities, but in terms of micro details and resolution, the Cantor is still a bit better. Overall, the Fatfreq Quantum features some very interesting technologies with the NOA modules and is one of the best tuned planar IEMs with exceptional technicalities. I think there are a lot of people that will like this, but to me, this does not sound like an almost $800 product. Especially with so many well-tuned planars on the market for much cheaper or similarly priced tribrids, it is hard to recommend the Quantum for what it is. I feel like if Fatfreq didn't include the $200 effect audio cable, they could have made this a $500 product and would be a much easier recommendation, but nonetheless, this is an effect audio collab, so it is what it is. If you are someone who loves planar and wants to try a well-tuned planar with excellent technicalities, the Quantum is a great pick. If not, there are better options like the Cantor, Xduoo Braindance, or Mega 5 EST for the price. So with that, the Quantum gets a 1-star recommendation. This has been Koi, thank you for watching and see you next time.